Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Today, a symbol of support and solidarity as the search for a missing Hardin teenager approaches 1 week.
Today, Hardin High students rallied together to raise awareness and spread the word about Selena Not Afraid, who's been missing since New Year's Eve, hoping their message grows hope throughout the community.
Now today, 3 buses packed with students and educators made their way from Hardin to the rest area where Selena was reportedly last seen.
Q2's Zoe Zandora was there to share the moment in their venture to spread awareness.
Just want to think of a good outcome and not think of the worst, because I know she's still out there in life.
She was one of my close friends, and I saw her on a daily basis.
It's been 6 days since Selena Not Afraid has gone missing, and her friends and students at Hardin High School have decided to not sit behind their desks, but instead help spread the word.
Just happened to basically be at the wrong place in the wrong time.
A place these students say you should never put yourself in.
People out there who are evil and they're trying to get at us, and as a community, we have to be safe. And with the drugs and alcohol, it's become so normalized in this society today, and especially on the reservation, there's so much of it, and everyone's just treating it like it's not a big deal, when really it's bad.
In the world where people have to go missing and you have to see it all the time, we really should start noticing that we need to take more action and look more into the situation, and we also have to focus on why.
Selena's friends and fellow classmates, teachers, and family all here to say it's not okay.
And there's so many kids that I know that have gotten into bad accidents or have gone missing in similar situations, and no one's doing anything about it. So many women are going missing and being murdered, and it's not okay.
An overall common message: be safe, know your surroundings, and don't put yourself in harm's way.
Before you go out, just take a look around and just realize who you're with and who will keep you safe when you go out.
You should always have someone else know where you are. Tell your mom, call your mom, tell her where you are, your dad, your sister, whoever. You just have to have someone know. You can't just go off and do whatever anymore. It's not the same.
Hope, a word that still lives strong in each search for Selena Not Afraid.
There's hope, and they will find you. We all hope we can find you.
We're here for you. We are all hoping that you can return home safely, and we're gonna find you.
In Hardin, Zoe Zandora, MTN News.
Thanks, Zoe.
Well, nearly 4 months after a rock slide destroyed a Billings West End home, the road below is now finally clear for travel.
Now, the boulders that fell also left major holes in the asphalt, but now they're patched for the winter. Q2's Mitch Laggy standing by now in the newsroom with the latest on the cleanup. Mitch.
Well, Russ and Jeanelle, for the first time in months, motorists could drive on a fully open Loretto Place. Today, crews finished laying dirt and gravel on the remaining holes in the roadway. Loretto Place is closer to returning to normal, but a large boulder still sits right in the middle of a home. To remove the boulders from the street, crews broke them apart into smaller pieces for easier handling. The Billings City Administrator Chris Kukulski said vibrations from the rock breakup were not intense enough to damage nearby home foundations. Kukulski gave an update to the City Council last night.
We'll do our best throughout the winter to keep it drivable, and then when weather permits in the spring, we'll get in there, do the asphalt patching to the street, and get it open back up.
And Kukulski also noted that the city water line in the area of the rockfall was not damaged. So, until the spring hits, the patch of dirt will remain on Loretto Place. Russ and Jeanelle?
All right, thank you, Mitch.
Well, some scary moments this afternoon when a car crashed through the front wall of a Billings Heights credit union. Take a look at this video. This is the damage left behind at Valley Credit Union at 1445 Main Street just after noon today. Billings police tell us no one inside was hurt, and the 84-year-old Billings woman driving also escaped injuries. But as you can see, the building suffered some major damage.
Short-term deal has been reached to keep Montana's largest coal mine up and running for the time being. State environmental regulators say they've reached that 65-day deal with the Navajo Transitional Energy Company while negotiations continue for a long-term agreement. The mine, located in southeastern Montana near Decker, had been operating under a 75-day deal that would have expired tomorrow. The waiver of sovereign immunity allows the state to enforce state environmental laws, governing coal mining, including required cleanup. Spring Creek has about 260 employees. The future of that mine became cloudy when leaders of the Navajo Nation announced after purchasing it from Cloud Peak Energy that they would not back the $108 million in reclamation bonds and mineral lease transfers required to operate the mine.
Well, now on to the weather scene. Excuse me. Tonight, Rob Griggs is in for Bob McGuire. Rob, we've seen some pretty nice temperatures the last few days, but freezing January is on the way.
All good things must come to an end, and the date will be January 8th. So let's just take a look at what's happening out there across the Northwest right now. We got a few snow flurries, but that really probably doesn't tell the story. Let me just go ahead and add the satellite to that, and you can see where the cloud cover is arcing up over that ridging high pressure right now coming in out of the northwest. That's why it feels kind of chilly out there. Now, as we pull in just a little bit closer, you can see there are some snow showers in eastern Montana. They're starting to wrap up even as we speak, but we may still see a few of those, especially to the north and east of Billings. Winds also still blowing up in the Livingston area. So the big story is what happens from here. Well, we have one more day. We'll call tomorrow transition day. 48 degrees, windy and warm. We drop down to 31, and then we get to freezing and below, much below. Yes, the complete cold extended forecast in just a bit. Russ, Jeanelle?
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, if you're planning a flight through U.S. airports, get ready for some extra security. The Department of Homeland Security has increased security presence at airports across the country, including Billings-Logan. Now, Assistant Director of Aviation Shane Ketterling tells Q2 he cannot divulge specifics, but says they are working behind the scenes. Homeland Security urges Americans to continue to travel and attend public events, but asks all travelers to report any suspicious activity to local law enforcement.
Meanwhile, U.S. Senator Jon Tester wants to make sure that Congress authorizes any potential war with Iran. Tester signed on to a war powers resolution saying the American people and service members who would be sent to defend us deserve a transparent debate on whether it would be in our best interest to fight yet another war in the Middle East. In a statement, Tester said, quote, "Well, the world is better off without Qasem Soleimani. His killing without consultation with Congress or our closest allies cannot become the sole justification for an unconstitutional war with enormous consequences to American taxpayers and our military." And while the Tester resolution requires congressional approval of war or use of military force, Tester says it does not prevent the U.S. from defending itself from imminent attack.
Well, Montana's Republican Senator Steve Daines says if the Senate doesn't get articles of impeachment from the House by this weekend, it should be able to dismiss them without a trial. Daines is co-sponsoring a resolution this week that says if impeachment articles aren't transmitted to the Senate within 25 days of being adopted by the House, the Senate can vote to dismiss them. He says it's time for Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi to put up or shut up on impeachment. Now, the resolution needs 67 votes to proceed and therefore has essentially no chance of passage. Daines is calling impeachment a rigged process and says House Democrats are getting cold feet on proceeding.
Well, the Army-Navy surplus store in Kalispell is defending itself today after photos went viral showing the store was selling pocket knives with swastikas on them. Now, the store staff quickly responded saying the Nazi paraphernalia was part of a bulk pellet of knives and not ordered directly by the store. They said they worked quickly to destroy anything Nazi-related. Since the photos were posted online, Army-Navy of Kalispell says they've received some threats from community members. The Montana Human Rights Network says that needs to stop.
So I'd ask the community to give Army-Navy a chance to show that they've done the right thing here, and let's not escalate this into violence or threats.
Randall went on to say the store's quick response is a positive sign for the Flathead Valley. The Army-Navy store has been in Kalispell for more than 40 years.
Well, there's more news from across our state on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news. We'll take you to Gallatin County, where influenza is hitting the hardest this season. Find out what's being done to battle the outbreak. Join Russ on the statewide MTN News on the CW.
But first, still to come on tonight's 5:30 news, a Helena self-defense instructor helping women face their fears. We'll explain next.
And later in sports, Scott shows us how Shepherd's wrestling guys are creeping back into the competitive conversation with their third coach in 4 years.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.